Alright, Shalom. Double honors to the apostles of GMS. Honest you brothers will be pushing this truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth, man. It's gonna be a video based on some material from about three to this one 3 years ago, and the article I'm gonna get into is about 4 years ago, man. All right, because what you got out here right now, you got a so-called Syrian crisis, to where you got pure people coming into so-called Europe and that. All right, right under the guise of so-called escaping, right? Under the guise, under the disguise of being, so-called refugees and all of that, man. But really, that's not the case, man. Right? Because when you read into the intricacies of what's actually going out there in the Middle East, man, as you can see right here, right? The United States of America, which we know as Babylon within the scriptures, referring back to the book of Revelations, the 18th chapter, all right, and plenty of scriptures that refers to America as being Babylon, all right. Now it doesn't say America for baiting sake, but look, man, when you read in between the lines and you understand what's actually going down and how it's going to be, for instance, all right, the selling of the souls of men, all right, what country sells all kind of debt, all right, hence the sales of men to all these different people, man, all of these different nations, right? China comes to mind, all right, right, where the name of the Lord was crucified. All right, where that is known as spiritually Sodom and spiritually Gomorrah. That's America, man. All right, right. But through the Most High set it up to where the United States of America is going out there and destabilizing all these different countries. Why? So they can create their so-called New World Order, man. And this is all just part and parcel of it, man. All right, this is all part of the same agenda. All right, of destabilizing the Middle East. All right, and now you've got one of the perfect excuses to go up into Syria. Remember, they've been trying to get into Syria for the longest, man. All right, they've been trying to get into Syria for the longest, and they failed to do that in previous times. All right, but now they got the perfect excuse. Why? Because they've had it to where those so-called refugees, and I say so-called because you got guys out there with the latest iPhone, so-called running away from their so-called lifestyle, man. All right, from the so-called bombers and all of that, man. All right, of which all of that, man, that could be crisis actors, right? I mean, hey, you might have some actual people up in there, right, caught up into the into the similitude of was actually being played out by the elites, man. All right, but all that is gonna head on over, like it's gonna say in the article I got here in this one, man. Right, part of their agenda was to destabilize using America, Turkey, Israel. Is going to destabilize, not Turkey, sorry, they wanted to destabilize countries like Libya, which they already did that. All right, Syria, Iran is another one. All right, that's all part of the same play, man. Now really all I wanted to get from this one is the fact that going back to 2012, you got it to where the so-called president of Syria accuses the United States of destabilizing Syria. So all the issues that you got out here happening with the refugees, so-called getting over the borders and running into these different countries, right? All that you have out there, right, is by and is a result of the so-called government of America, man. That is a result of their actions. Okay. All right, I'm gonna read a little bit and I'm gonna get into the article. It says Syrian President Bashar al-Assad said the U.S. is trying to destabilize Syria by providing political protection, right, for gangs operating in the country. All right, what does that go to show you, man? That goes to show you that ISIS, as we've been saying for the longest, because ISIS is supposedly out there in Syria creating all kind of havoc. You got the president telling you that a covert military group is out there, being provided arms by the so-called American government to destabilize his so-called sovereignty over the people, man. All right. So what's that going to show you, man? That's going to show you that this man is the devil, right? And he deals as he's always dealt. He'll go in there, set up puppet leaders, of which this guy is a puppet leader, all right? And then you'll have it to where he sends another set of group of people to overthrow the existing one. All right, now he's speaking out. Why? Because he's finding out that probably he got played the fool, man. He got played for the fool, man. All right, now he's so-called trying to look after the people and all of that, and that's the same old story, man. We've seen that so many times before, man. This is an old story, man. All right, it says in an interview for German TV, Mr. Assad also said Saudi Arabia and Qatar were arming terrorists in Syria. Now, if you know anything about them so-called Middle Eastern countries, the Saudi Arabias, the Qatars, the so-called United Arab Emirates, right? Notice how much wealth they have acquired over the last period, as of late, man. That comes by and by of the so-called allegiance that they have within the United States, in that they sell them oil, they sell the United States oil, they get money and they get arms and protection. All right, and when he's saying Saudi Arabia and Qatar and all of that, he's talking about them, the Americans giving them all of them the weaponry, man. Because a lot, you got to remember, not every country makes weapons, man. Not every country makes guns and all of that, man. You got three major, right, manufacturers of weapons and all of that, man. Three major providers of that. United States being, I believe they're number one, right? But I know for I think 80% of all of the manufacturing that happens in the United States, right, is all war manufacturing, namely making guns, bombs, right, planes, all of that, man. Right, and that goes to show you what this man's about, man. He's about destruction, man. That's why the Most High is gonna take this devil out of the face of the planet, man. Right, like it says, lest there not be any flesh left to save, man. Right, and that goes into all kind of different things: the food you're eating, the air you're breathing, the water you're drinking, all that, man. All right, and let me jump into this one. Like I said, it's gonna be real quick. I'm gonna touch on a few key points in there. All right, but I don't really want to make it too long, because there's all kind of information that you can find out there. But as you can see, man, right, the so-called situation that you have out there with the refugees, that was all set up by the so-called United States, and these articles are old, and that goes to show you that this information has been out there, man. You could have hell there was people that probably predicted this, man, going on for this information and all of that. It says what is unfolding in Syria is an armed insurrection supported covertly by foreign powers, including the US, Turkey, and Israel. All right, it says armed insurgents, belonging to Islamist organizations have crossed borders from Turkey, Lebanon, and Jordan. It says the United State Department has confirmed that it is supporting these insurgencies. But see, he ain't gonna go on record and say they've been supporting ISIS and all of that, man. All right, and like I've been saying for the last couple of weeks, man, it's that Albert Pike World War III algorithm, man. Create chaos within the Middle East, go up in there to quote unquote fix it, right, and create World War III, and therefore reduce the world population to down to 500 million, all right, and chip everybody, man. That's all the same. That's all the same book, man. All the same agenda, man. All tied into the same end goal. All right, it says the United States is to expand contacts with Syrians who are counting on the regime change in the country. It says this was stated by U.S. state officials Victoria Nuland, right? And we expanded to the context with Syrians, right, who are those who are calling for change both inside and outside the country. All right, and what do you have now? All right, there's so-called change that's been implemented by the United States, right? Has it to where you got people running out of the damn country, man. All right, why? Because this man is deaf, man. This man is chaos. All right, it says the destabilizing of Syria, Lebanon and Lebanon as southern countries has been on the drawing board of the U.S. NATO Israel military alliance for the last 10 years, man. I'll read it again. This is right here, man. The destabilizing of Syria, of Lebanon, right, and as sovereign countries has been on the drawing board, right, of the U.S. NATO Israel military alliance for the last 10 years. It says actions against Syria and part of the military roadmap, right, a sequence of military operations according to the former NATO Commander General Wesley Clark, right, the Pentagon, right, had clearly identified Iraq, which they've already done this, destabilized that, man. All right, identified Iraq, Libya, Syria, and Lebanon as target countries, right, of a U.S. NATO intervention, man. Now they ain't put the reasons why they're gonna do the intervention on there, but ultimately it's to lead up to that World War III. We already know that. All right. It says, and it's longer than 10 years. Now, it could have been public. When I say publicized, right, I mean made a way to their so-called military generals and all of that, right, from their lease. This is what we're going to do in 10 years. They could have done that 10 years ago, but really that's been on their books for decades, man. All right, it says 5-year campaign plan included a total of 7 countries, beginning with Iraq, right? Then Syria, which we have now, Lebanon, right? Libya, which they've already done. Iran, the Iran thing, right? That's gonna have it, and that's in the scriptures, man. The Iran thing is in the scriptures, man. Right? The Iran thing, that's going, ricochet all of them things, man. It says Somalia, Sudan, all right? It says in this is the book he's quoting from, or article he's quoting from. It says in Within Modern Wars, right? General Wesley Clark states the following. He says, as I went back through the Pentagon in 2001, one of the senior military staff, right, officers had time to chat. He says, yes, we were still on track on going against Iraq, he said, and which they did, right? It says, but there was more. This was being discussed as part of a 5-year campaign plans, he said. And he says, and they were a total of 7 countries, beginning with Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, and Sudan. Right, and just to make a point on that Iraq thing, man, they made it out to where that guy was just like how they do him around, man. It's the same rule book, man. Make the guy out look like he's a demon, right? And when they roll up into that, so don't be surprised when they roll up into that forcibly into so-called Syria, right? Quote unquote, taking the leader, right? What's his name? Assad, right? Out of his so-called reign, man, of which he's likely to be a puppet guy, man, and they'll pretend like he killed him, and you might find out he's been dead for years and years. All that good stuff, man. All right. Carrying on with this article, man. It says, he said, right, it with reproach, right, with disbelief almost, right, at the breadth of the vision. I says, I moved the conversation away, for this was something I wanted to hear, right, and then it was not something I wanted to see moving forward either, right. I left the Pentagon after that afternoon deeply concerned. It says, the objective is to destabilize the Syrian state and implement a regime change through the covert support of an armed insurgency, which now is ISIS, right, integrated by Islamist militia, right. And this, look, man, look when this article was released, man, friggin' June 2011, man. Now you would in 2011, what was you hearing about? You was hearing about the so-called Al Qaeda, but what the hell is the Al Qaeda now, man? Right, the Al Qaeda just merely changed into conveniently changed into what now as ISIS, man. It says the reports on the civilian deaths are used to provide a pretext and a justification of the humanitarian intervention under which the principles of responsibility to protect, right? If I will expound upon that, because there's a lot of words in there. Basically, what that statement is saying, man, the deaths of the civilians that you're seeing on the television right now, they're going to use that as a means of justifying a humanitarian intervention, right? In other words, they're going to roll up into that country, right? And they're going to use those people as a means of going into that country, right? It says media disinformation. It says tacitly acknowledged, right? The significance of an armed insurrection is causally dismissed by the Western media. It says if it were to be recognized and analyzed, our understanding of the unfolding events would be entirely different. It says what is mentioned, right, profusely is the armed forces and the police, right, are involved in the indiscriminate killing of civilian protesters, right? Press reports confirms. However, from the outset of the protest movements, an exchange of gunfire between armed insurgents and police and casualty reported on both sides. All right. Now it goes into all kind of different information and all of that, but really the point's been hit, man. See, this has been on their agenda for the longest, and now you got the absolute pinnacle, right? The precipice, if you will, right? To where this. See, it was all right when the problem was within Syria. All right, people can forget about it. Do their little, the so-called what you call it? Send their money there, and you can sleep on it, man. You can forget about it. But see, now it's spewing into these different countries out there. You're gonna have it to where these heathens are gonna be mad. These Europeans and all of that, man, they're gonna be mad about that. So what? they're gonna justify, taking action against that government, and that's gonna destabilize, and ultimately it's gonna lead to World War III, man. See, Russia ain't just gonna stand back once you're rolling into Syria. Now that's why really America, NATO, and Israel, and all that, and Turkey, right, and all that whole beast system, man. They really been, of which Turkey not really part of that, but ultimately, you got NATO. I forget some stuff, but we're all human. The point I'm making, man, NATO, which is the beast, man, right, in America, all right, you're gonna roll up into that, man. All right, ultimately the end game is gonna be Iran, all right, but Syria is just a stepping stone towards it, man. Right, and like I said, I wasn't gonna keep it too long because there's a lot of information in there. Hopefully, that triggered some reason for you brothers to go out there and do their own research for yourself and then you can find out some even more information that that wasn't so present upon the matter. But as you can see, this has been on. It's just been this is what you're seeing out there. It's just been on the um it's been on the agenda for the longest, man. All right. With that, I'm gonna say double honors to the apostles of GMS, honest you brothers that be pushing this truth in sincerity. Shalom.